It's Derby Day and also away against top of the league day, and we're in fairly poor form. We need to win two difficult games to keep our promotion push on track. Hello and welcome to part 78 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we're at home against our local rivals Posh, and then away against top of the table Ipswich. Since you were last with me, we've only played 3 games, but we've only scored 2 goals. To be fair, we only conceded 3 goals, but it has led to 2 defeats. That was a long way to explain poor form. Don't do it that way again, Kev. Goodness me. This is what the league table looks like. We're still in the playoff mix, 5th place. We're only 5 points now behind Chester in second, although we do have a game in hand on them. We're 7 points behind Ipswich. We don't have a game in hand on them. If we're serious about trying to win the title, which I don't think we ever were, we have to beat Ipswich in the second half of this episode. But really, we just want to be in and around the promotion push again, the promotion mix. I still don't think we're ready to go up. Obviously, we'll take it if and when it comes, but I think we are still a defence away from being able to compete at the higher level. But I guess we're never going to be ready, are we? We've got to go up, take the money, and then come back down and reinvest it. That's how we did it with Nuneaton last year. That might be how we have to do it with Holme this year as well. We need the cash that getting in the Championship will get us. So this is the team we're putting out there for the first game, the game at home against Posh. It is the one match a season where we fill the LOLLUJO Stadium. And most of them are Posh fans, but we pretend that's not happening and we just enjoy having a full ground. So we've got Humphreys in goal, a back four of Paliak, Proctor, Wright and Gregson, Fernandez, McCormick and Sawinski in midfield with Lloyd in behind Harris and Matondo. Wearmouth picked up an injury, I think in the last episode, and is still injured now. He's going to be out for another couple of weeks yet with broken ribs. But other than that, it is our full strength team, that aside. So fingers crossed, this full-strength team that's in rough form is good enough to beat a Posh side who've just sacked their manager, sat just outside the relegation zone. I don't want to be the man to push my beloved Peterborough United down into the relegation zone. But that being said, if the price of getting home promoted is relegating Posh, then I will do that because it's more important that we get home as high as we can. It's time to put an end to our poor run of form. I think that's a good team talk for a local derby. It's made no difference at all. The LOLLUJO Stadium should be absolutely packed. Look at that. Look at all those home fans, which is mad, really, because when we look at the stats in a minute, 4,000 of the 5,500 will be Posh fans. So I guess we've just got that one stand for our usual 1,500 people who come to our matches, which seems like a very low number, but remember, that's nearly 3 times the population of the village we're based in, so it's not too bad. A lot of people are probably travelling from Peterborough to attend our matches. They look like home shirts behind the goal as well. See, now I don't understand. I don't think the game understands that most of the people here should be wearing blue shirts, because they're all home fans as well. There is not a chance we've got 3 sides of this ground with our own fans in. Not a chance. In other news, Ken Sinclair is in the Posh team. He didn't come back to us on loan. There he is. Look, he didn't come back to us on loan this season because obviously we didn't need wingers. But he liked the digs he was living in for a couple of years when he was on loan with us. So he's on loan down the road and already got himself booked. A red card for Ken Sinclair today would be a nice little crowd pleaser. It's always fun to see one of your former players get sent off. This fella's about to get sent off, I think, because that was a lunging challenge from behind. He is off. Dan Robinson, never heard of him, but Posh down to 10 men in the local derby, and we need to capitalise on that, really, because they're a team who are struggling this season, and they're managerless, and they're down to 10 men, and we're still not beating them. Let's be assertive and keep going. They're a man down. We can get a result here. I just don't seem to be able to motivate my team anymore, which is a bit of a problem. I think we're gonna throw 10 minutes of passion at them in a minute. They're basically doing the 10-man version of our system as well. They've gone to the 3-man midfield, so they're also playing very narrow. Also, it almost tempts me to try and go wide and move around them, but we haven't got any of the wingers on the bench today. Harris, it was just behind. I think that was Sawinski who was charging through. Lloyd did well. Harris could have done a little bit better, but here's Gregson back to right. The goal's coming here. I can smell it all the way back to Humphreys, and this is where we need something special to build from the back. Right. Plays it forward to Gregson. Infield to Sawinski, who slots Matondo in. Harris is in the middle waiting, and there is Anthony Harris. And who else would you want scoring in the local derby than the original local hero, Anthony Harris, the first ever goal scorer for Home Football Club. And here we are, 9 years later, and he's scoring in local derby. Who'd have thought when he made his debut and scored his first goal as a 16-year-old that 9 years later he'd be scoring against the team he probably grew up supporting, Peterborough United, in League One, in front of 5,500 people in a ground that didn't exist. I don't think anyone thought that, because obviously that would be quite an elaborate imagination you'd have to achieve that. But here's Lloyd, very deep, plays it over the top for Matondo to chase again. And Matondo, goodness me, he's quick. And it's 2-0, 17th goal of the season for Matondo. Yet another assist for Dean Lloyd as well, who is still proving to be an absolute inspiration. It's ridiculous. In low knee news, by the way, we weren't able. In fact, there was a loan we extended. I don't think it was Lloyd. We definitely couldn't get Matondo for next season because I think it's Stoke he's on loan from. They're not interested in him coming back to League One. They want higher quality players. Did we extend Dean Lloyd for another year? No. So we weren't able to get him either. It's David Sawinski, of course. David Sawinski is here until the end of next season. So he's got the potential to do Eric Fernandez, because he's now here until the end of his... Did he go to QPR? No, Leeds. He's now with us until the end of his Leeds contract. So hopefully once his Leeds contract expires, we can bring him back on a free transfer, the way we did Fernandez. I realise I'm just exploiting the fact that element of the game appears to be broken, but I don't care. These are our homegrown boys. We want to keep them around. Right, talking of Fernandez, we are going to take him off, bring on Cannon, swap those two over, and nobody in the midfield is playing brilliantly, but I don't feel the need to bring them off. Because it's the local derby, though, what I do feel the need to do is bring him on. Someone did mention in the comments a few days ago that he probably has the best minutes per goals ratio of anyone at the club. I checked. He's actually got the best minutes per goal of anyone in the league. Mick Powell scores a goal on average every 100 minutes of football, which is ridiculous, really. That's nearly a goal a game for a man who doesn't ever play. To be fair to him, Matondo is second on that chart. He scores every 115 minutes, I think. And Anthony Harris is also in the top 10 on about 170 minutes for each goal. And I think Harris is probably providing more assists than Powell does as well. So I'm still happy with Matondo and Harris as my normal front two. But Mick Powell has definitely done a Mick Powell again this season and forced himself back into contention as my third striker, because I think at the start of the season, both Swan and Poloskaj could have made an argument for being ahead of him in the pecking order. Absolutely not the case now. Powell is my go-to substitution. And hopefully he'll grab a goal again today in the local derby, because that would be very pleasant. I'm not going to make another change. There's no reason to make another change. Everyone's playing well. Nobody's particularly tired. Palyuk looks like he probably wouldn't mind coming off, but we didn't have anyone to come on for him, I don't think. No, because as usual, we've got two right-backs on the bench. One day I'll pick my own bench. Today is not that day. Right, with the free kick from deep, it falls to Matondo, and there's his 18th goal of the season. And we are going to miss Matondo next season. I think if we needed further motivation to try and get promoted this year, then that motivation is it's likely the only way we're going to be able to see him for a second season, because he's not going to come back to League One again. He's too good for League One. When he signed, he was the best player in League One when he arrived, and he's just getting better and better as the season goes on. We've got to think we might have a chance of bringing him back on loan, though, if we're playing in the Championship. And I guess if we do go up, we need to have him. So it would be nice to have that conversation with Stoke. Look, if we get promoted, can we have him again? Because if they say no, then we should probably avoid promotion, because getting promoted and losing your best player is an issue. Let's get passionate, because it was a local derby. We did very well. We made them look like a very poor side, and hopefully we can now do the same against top of the table Ipswich. It's going to be more difficult, away from home against the team that were top, but Bloomingchester are there again, and we need to keep an eye on them. If they're going to go up automatically, we've got to make sure we go with them. But let's go try and beat Ipswich. No changes for the Ipswich game then. Why would we when we've just played as well as we've just played? There are a couple of pieces of news though, if we find the news. We did just set a new gate receipt record for the game against Posh, £100,000 of gate receipts, meaning we're now only £500,000 in the red. We were £500,000 in the black after we played Liverpool in the League Cup earlier in the season. We are hemorrhaging money at an alarming rate. We're losing like 100 and something £1,000 a month. Can we see? I want to see profit and loss last month. But it won't. It's the 12th of the month and we've already lost 50 grand, and that's in a month where we've set record gate receipts. We are hemorrhaging cash. It is. There you go. We lost between those 2 months £270,000. In light of that, the other piece of news is we've accepted an offer from Connor Stanley from Northampton of all teams. They're mid-table in this league. Connor Stanley, it's going to be a shame to lose him, but he is unhappy because obviously he's not getting any game time at the moment because we're not playing with wingers. He's been with us a long time, signed for us down in the Northern Premier League and was an absolute revelation immediately. What a signing that was. And he's been with us as a first-team regular all the way through from the Northern Premier League to our first season in League One. He'd still be playing every game now if we were playing with wingers, because I don't think we'd find a better one. But if we're committing to the 4-3-1-2 for the time being, which in a world that has Dean Lloyd in it, we kind of are, Connor Stanley has to go. It feels a bit wrong selling a player who's been with us for so long, because we've changed the tactic to accommodate 2 loan players in Lloyd and Matondo. But they're so good, and he's not happy. We can't say to him, hang around until the end of the season. You'll probably be back in next year, because we'll lose both those loanees and go back to a wide system. But we can always bring him back, maybe. It's very sad. Let's get into the game before I start crying about Connor Stanley. I know he wasn't one of our homegrown players, but he feels like one because he's been here so long, and it is sad to let him go. I don't like letting my long-serving players leave. Right, what are we going to say? I mean, Ipswich should absolutely batter us. So we're the underdogs, go out and cause an upset. It worked for us in cup competitions in the distant past. It doesn't seem to work anymore, as we showed against whoever it was that knocked us out of the FA Cup earlier on in the season, which has caused a huge part of our current financial problems. That's another reason why we need to get promoted this year. Not just to give us the money to build a team that can survive in the Championship, potentially to give us the money we need to survive. This new chairman doesn't throw money at the club anywhere near as much as Sir Enoch Nuhu did, and we are struggling a little bit, and I am... Oh, that was terrible. Oh, it's offside. That's all right then. I am a little bit worried that... I don't know. I've never had a club going into administration on Football Manager before, but if we're losing £250,000 a month, we might be the first. Oh, no. We need to sell some players, and I know we need to reduce the size of the squad. People tell me that all the time. But my response is always, I'm within my budgets. I am within my budgets. The board are setting the budgets wrong. It's their problem. And it's sound logic when I'm playing non-league to legend, and I can move to another club if it all goes wrong because they've set their budgets wrong. But we can't leave home. If the board get it wrong here, then we've got to face the consequences and live through what happens. So I might have to promote myself and decide that I'm going to overrule the board sometimes and operate on smaller budgets than they're giving me. We've not done too badly in that first half. We've not created anything at all. We've also not conceded a goal, which is quite handy. Let's continue with the let's beat the odds, blah, 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 blah. They're the better team. We're not very good. We've had more possession, but we're not having any shots. As it stands, we'll be 4 points behind them, which is, I mean, that's catchable. My worry is Chester above them, and what a save from Humphreys. Humphreys has his doubters down in the comments from time to time, but that was an absolutely world-class save. That was astonishing. See, Humphreys is a keeper. I think People criticise the defence. I don't think our defence is actually that bad. I think I would like a better keeper, but obviously he has his moments, as we've just seen, where you think, actually, we don't need him. Look, he's on a 7.1. I've never seen a goalkeeper have a good game according to ratings before. All those times Civita was pulling off save after save after save and never got up to a 7. It's a goalkeeper with a proper rating. Right, Matondo not playing well. Powell can come on for him, so we get Harris and Powell together for a few minutes. Sawinski can come off for Cannon to come on, and we'll just shuffle the midfield around to get Fernandez pushing forward a little bit more. And should we have a bit of passion? 10 minutes of passion with 20 minutes to go. Not that we're necessarily trying to go and win this game. It would be nice to grab an against the run of play winner, but I'll be quite happy if we come away from this with a draw. Ipswich are the biggest, scariest team in the division. They're just relegated from the Championship. Harris is in, and what was he thinking? Trying to chip it over the keeper when he could have just absolutely thwacked it, and it probably would have been 1-0 to home. Harris, his rating's got an absolute battering because of it as well. We're going to take Anthony Harris off. That's saying bring Morton on, but can Morton even play as a striker? I've certainly never played him there. No, I don't want Morton to come on as a striker. Swan, I know, can play as a striker. Where is he? Deep line forward. That's what he does. Alongside Powell. We have Powell and Lloyd. Swan and Lloyd both trying to set up a winner for Mick Powell. And here is Powell. Powell is in behind and pulls the trigger a little bit too late. And the Ipswich defender comes across to make the challenge. And that was a crunching tackle in midfield. I don't know who that was from. But our substitution's just gone through. There's 10 minutes left. I want to tell them to get creative, but we can't do that yet. We're still being passionate at the moment. We can't do our creativity too soon after our passion, or else we just end up in a mess. Why do Ipswich always have a Dazelle in their team? Is that the one? Is that the real one, or is there another one that's come through now? I keep looking. I'm so used to managing Ipswich, I was looking at the wrong side to try and look at their team. Right, Fernandez to Gregson. Gregson plays it back into Lloyd. Lloyd's come quite deep here, but finds Cannon in a little pocket of space, and it's Swan. Plays Powell in. What a pass from Swan, and what a miss from Mick Powell. Oh, that was a painful miss, because it was a beautiful pass, a chance on a plate. Best chance of the game for either team, and you would want it to fall to Mick Powell, and it is Andre Dazelle, and non-league to legend veteran multiple times over, scores a 90th minute winner for Ipswich, and that's sad. When Mick Powell misses an absolute sitter, and we get a hero of games past come up and make us sad right at the end. Swan is in here though. Oh, I thought we'd won a free kick or a penalty or something, but no. Oh, that feels a bit dirty the way that's happened. I know. Looking at the stats, Ipswich absolutely deserved to win, but we had the chance to win it ourselves, and then losing it so late it's a bit of a kick in the places you don't want kicking. Right, let's do a bunch of games now, because this season seems to be lasting forever, and it looks like we're not in a title hunt anymore. So I think we're gonna. Oh, we've got to do Chester, haven't we? We've got to do a Chester game at least once a season. So Chester and Bolton, our current rivals, and another former team of ours. So Chester, Bolton, and that will be tomorrow, in tomorrow's episode. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.